by any pure substance, soap, whether you put Coca-Cola, coffee, mud, or anything else, if the taste or the smell or the color changes, that water is pure. Meaning that if it gets on your clothing, you don't have to wash it off. If it gets on your skin, you don't have to wash it off. However, you cannot use that to make wudu, or you cannot use it to make ghusl. Why? Because it's not al-ma' al-mutlaq. Naam. La, you can use soap. However, when you make ghusl, you're using water. Naam. You can use soap to wash, you can use soap to clean your body, bila shak. However, if somebody just got some soap and started rubbing soap all over their body without water, would that be ghusl? Abadan. If somebody got Coca-Cola and said, well, I'm making wudu with Coca-Cola, or they got some coffee, or some, those waters that, waters that have different types of taste to them, and said, this is water, however, it tastes of lime, or it tastes of grape or fruit punch. This is water, I'm using this water to make wudu. Obviously, we know that you can't use this water to make wudu. The water is purple. Water is not purple. However, it's pure, you can drink it, it's not impure. However, you can't use it to make ghusl or to make wudu. Now, the scholars of Islam, they say, for example, if you have amounts of water and the water changes from its natural environment, and it changes due to things that it is impossible for you to protect the water from, and this is mentioned in Zad al-Mustaqni', and if you look to Sharh al-Mumti', Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen, it explains it in detail, that it is difficult. Yashiq, yani sawn al-ma min, as some of the things that the brother mentioned, then inshallah ta'ala this water can be used bi-idhnillahi azza wa jal. Naam. As for, like I said, a complete explanation of that, inshallah, return back to Sharh al-Mumti'. Ibn Uthaymeen, alhamdulillah, explains that bit-tafsil, with a detailed explanation. But ikhwan, the importance, that's why we should start upon these things. Some people, they busy themselves with complicated issues, and they love to debate and entertain issues which are way over their head, but they don't understand the basics of tahara, purification, which is miftah as-salah, which is the key to the prayer. First, we start with these things. We understand, we need to learn, firstly, what water to use, what water can't we use to make ghusl or to make wudu. That's the starting point. And that's why many of the scholars, they start, the first thing that they talk about is al-miyah, the different categories of water. Also we learn how to make wudu, how to make ghusl, how to use the bathroom properly, according to the religion of Islam. Khutwa, khutwa, step by step. Now, somebody had a question related to this? No. Tap water that has a slight taste, inshallah ta'ala, la bas. If it's tap water, and it comes from a reservoir, or it comes from a water source, there's no problem in that. Some water that has a taste, just because it has a taste to it, doesn't automatically mean the water may have a taste to it. Seawater, salt water, even the Sahaba, they asked the Prophet ﷺ, because they said, on our journeys, we only carry a small amount of water. If we were to use all of our water that we carry to drink, then we may run out of supplies. Can we use the seawater to purify ourselves? Prophet ﷺ said, the water is pure, al-hil maytatu, that which lives in it, which is from it and dies in it, is halal for you, and its water is pure. So salt water, even though it's salty, you can jump into the sea, inshallah ta'ala. If you have the niyyah, say for example, if you're in a state of ghusl, alhamdulillah, the religion of Allah is easy. If you're in a state of janaba, sexual impurity, and you need to, make ghusl, if you jump into the sea and you have the niyyah, inshallah ta'ala, to make ghusl, alhamdulillah, you can make ghusl. Naam. Sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Naam.